Can you get used to sleep deprivation? Just train your body to get by on less sleep. That's the question I'm going to answer for you in the next 2 minutes with data to support it. And the answer may actually surprise you quite a bit. By the way, I'm a child neurologist and a sleep medicine physician at Duke. If you or someone you know sleeps, follow me. You won't regret it. Let's answer this question. The graph behind me is from an amazing study done by a group at UPenn and Harvard back in 2003. Probably the best controlled and designed study that we have on this topic. They tested everybody's performance on a test of attention. That was their main outcome measure. And that was the baseline measure for everybody. It was their own performance on this task. Then they split the group into 4 different groups and gave them different doses of sleep, what they called time in bed. The green group had 0 hours time in bed. The red group had 4 hours time in bed, 6 hours time in bed for the blue group, and 8 hours time in bed for the orange group. And they only let them get into bed for that amount of time. And they did this over 2 weeks, 14 days, except for the 0 hour time in bed group. You can't sleep deprive them for 14 straight days. That's torture, and they'd probably die. How did each group do on this test of attention? Well, the 0 hour time in bed group, no surprise, they did terrible. After 3 days, they were performing really badly compared to their baseline, right? They're at a level of 15 here on this scale. Higher the number, the worse they're performing. The 4 hour time in bed group, they did that for the full 14 days, only 4 hours time in bed. Their performance worsened over time, and each day they seemed to be getting worse, such that by the end, they're performing at the same level as someone that had been sleep deprived for 3 continuous days. Pretty terrible. The 6 hour time in bed group also worsened, and by the time they were finished, they were performing at the same level as someone that had been sleep deprived between 1 and 2 continuous days. The interesting thing here is that they worsened in a linear fashion. There's no signs of a plateau effect here, right? They just kept getting worse and worse and worse. Now, surprisingly, the 8 hour time in bed group, their performance also worsened, likely because 8 hours time in bed does not equate to 8 hours time asleep. They were probably getting sleep deprived as the study went on, so their performance also worsened. But here's the kicker. They asked each person how they felt they were doing when it came to sleepiness throughout the study. And their subjective report of how sleepy they felt, that actually did plateau. So they began to think, okay, yeah, I'm not getting more sleepy as the study goes on, yet their performance continued to worsen. Their body was telling them, I'm not that sleepy. Their performance worsened over time, and that's a pretty dangerous combination.